The evening air carried a chill as Adrian left the main lodge. His earlier words seemed to hang in the silence he left behind. He did not look back. Walking the pine needle path back to his own cabin, a knot of unease tightened in his chest. He had spoken with a finality that was not his custom. Inside the quiet cabin, the fire in the stone hearth painted the room in shifting amber. Elias was already there, waiting. He stood by the window, a silhouette against the deepening twilight. "You wish to leave the sanctuary," Elias stated, his voice a low resonance in the quiet room. Adrian's pulse quickened for a moment before a different, bolder feeling settled over him. He moved closer. "Yes. And you're coming with me." Elias's brow furrowed slightly. "For what reason would I?" A soft, knowing laugh escaped Adrian. He closed the distance between them in one fluid step, causing the older man to retreat half a pace. In the quiet cabin, lit only by fire and the first stars outside the window, the young man's gaze was unwavering. His words, when they came, held a quiet command. "Because I want you to. That is the only reason that matters." Elias felt something shift within him, a deep, resonant tremor. He looked at the determined face before him, so assured in the flickering light. After a long moment, a faint, almost invisible smile touched his lips. "All right, we will go." 3 days later, they departed. The old accord, a fragile thing of parchment and promise, had been rendered void by Elias's own hand. There was no outcry from those it concerned, as if they chose not to acknowledge the act. The representatives of the scattered clans, who might have sought confrontation, were still subdued by the memory of Elias's formidable presence. They would not act, not yet. During those final days, the elder from the main lodge had come to their cabin. His concern for Adrian's well-being was genuine, if awkwardly expressed. A man of his years and standing did not offer apologies, but his visit was its own statement. When he left, Elias walked with him to the edge of the Whispering Pines. "This sanctuary has stood as a guardian for generations," Elias said, his tone calm as the forest around them. "That does not make it a tool for others to wield. Our strength is our own." The elder was silent for a time before he sighed, a sound like wind through high branches. Perhaps rending that accord was not a misfortune. Elias gave a single nod. They spoke a little longer of mundane things before the elder turned and vanished into the treeline. Adrian had asked an old friend, a tracker who lived near the wild borders, to seek word of a man called Kieran. Kieran's nature made him difficult to find. If anyone could locate him, it would be the tracker. Their destination was the far north, a place of legend and peril. Adrian had learned what he could before leaving. The one called Liam had kept to his studies, venturing out rarely. He had occasionally visited a young woman at a neighboring lodge, a woman named Rose. Their past acquaintance made it difficult for her to refuse him entirely. Believing her interest was returned, Liam had become a persistent visitor. Recently, Rose's mentor, a stern woman named Victoria, had returned. Upon hearing of the situation, she went directly to Rose's quarters. Finding Liam there, she did not speak. She simply drew her blade, its point coming to rest a hair's breadth from his throat. Her expression was carved from ice. "Return here," she said, her voice devoid of warmth, "and it will be the last thing you do." Liam had fled, shaken. While Victoria held no regard for him, others at the lodge were less severe. They spoke of his rapid progress, his cultivation advancing at a startling pace for one of his background. It was, they murmured, quite remarkable. Adrian knew the speed was unnatural, faster even than he remembered from the shadowed memories of another life. It made him think of the unseen forces that had always intervened to preserve Liam. Were they now granting him greater advantages? The question hung, unanswered. Before his departure, Adrian sought out his brother-in-training, Caleb. He spoke lightly, almost idly. "Look after our brothers. And if any of them persists in troubling the women here, such a mistake should not be overlooked." Caleb, sharp as a honed edge, understood more than the words said. When Adrian later visited their mentor, a bear of a man named Arthur, he expressed regret at being unable to tend to the sanctuary's affairs. Arthur laughed, a booming, hearty sound. "You've done well enough, boy." Adrian persisted, his tone respectful but firm. "I feel I have been negligent. Just yesterday, I heard from our sister that someone from the neighboring lodge comes every few days. Always. Seeking out one of the junior sisters." Caleb, standing nearby, nearly gaped at the masterful phrasing. To state a fact without an accusation, to let the listener's own mind draw the conclusion, it was brilliantly done. He remembered Adrian's earlier words and stepped forward, his face solemn. "'S true, mentor. I was about to ask your leave to discipline the individual. His behavior is disruptive." Arthur, who loved Caleb like a son despite their frequent clashes, looked from one young man to the other. He had a suspicion who they meant. He waved a large hand. "See to it, then. Don't trouble me with such matters." That night, Caleb had Liam kneeling at the gate of reflection. His charge was delivered with righteous fervor. "You have repeatedly troubled a fellow student, forcing our sister to intervene personally. Do you deny it?" Liam protested that he and Rose were old friends, that he meant no harm. Caleb cut him off. "You dare to argue?" After a lengthy defense from Liam, Caleb looked down at him, unmoved. "Your progress in recent years has been noted. It does not grant you license. You are dismissed." When Arthur later discovered it was Liam whom Caleb had disciplined, his eyes widened. "You dislike the boy that much?" Caleb's lip curled. "We are oil and water. The sight of him offends me." Arthur started to reprimand his disciple, then thought of Caleb's loyalty, his cold competence. His heart softened. "Very well, but do not be overly harsh. He is, after all, your brother in training." Adrian knew nothing of the specifics, but he trusted Caleb to make life difficult for Liam. In those other memories, Caleb had been one of the few who never believed the lies, who fought for a truth that was buried. His fate in that lost timeline had surely been bleak. Before leaving the mountain sanctuary, Adrian visited the secluded grove once more. The ancient lamp there still held only 2 frail sparks of light. Yet the vibrant moss surrounding it seemed less faded, holding a whisper of vitality. Adrian knew the spirit within likely could not hear him, but he spoke anyway, his voice soft. "I do not know if I will find the remains of the Ancient One in the north, but if I do, I will bring them to you." The lamp's light did not flicker. Adrian did not expect it to. He turned and left with Elias. Their journey would take them across vast distances, through territories of other sects and sprawling mortal nations. The far north was a place of deadly storms, which raged for a full season every decade. They had time before that cycle began again. Outside the first town, Elias reached out, his fingers brushing Adrian's forehead. A faint, leaf-shaped mark there faded from sight. "The northern storms are not ordinary wind," he explained. "They carry a fragment of the world's own law. A single grain of sand strikes with the force of a trained fighter. A wall of it is danger to anyone." Adrian nodded. He had heard the tales. "Then let us travel slowly. By road. I once heard it said that one cannot understand the world without walking in it. We could conceal our strength, live as ordinary people." He paused, a smile touching his lips. "We could be just an ordinary pair." A moment of silence passed. "I must have misheard you just now," Elias said. "I said we could pretend to be an ordinary pair," Adrian replied evenly. Elias nodded. "Yes, I misheard." At the town's edge, Adrian sighed in mock frustration and accepted the small, bitter pill Elias offered. He swallowed it, and Elias did the same. Soon, 2 men of unremarkable, though pleasant, appearance entered the settlement. Even disguised, their bearing drew quiet glances. The innkeeper, a wiry man with keen eyes, studied them as they approached his desk. "You two, "Are you from one of the orders?" he asked, his voice low. Adrian was taken aback. "You know of the orders?" To most common folk, those with training were figures of myth, not reality. The innkeeper nodded. "This town falls under the protection of the Sea Wolf Guild. They come for the tribute every few seasons." Adrian's expression tightened. "Tribute?" "For our safety," the innkeeper said, as if stating a simple fact. Adrian began to ask more, but Elias spoke first. "A room for the night. Your best." Once upstairs in a sparse but clean chamber, Adrian turned to him. "I have never heard of orders demanding tribute. Their world and this one are separate. Why would they need coin?" Elias waved a hand, and the very air in the room seemed to still, sealing them in silence. "I do not know either. But you saw the keeper's face. He saw no wrong in it. The reason will reveal itself in time. We need not force it." That night, Adrian intended to investigate the Sea Wolf Guild. Elias insisted on accompanying him. "It's a minor group," Adrian argued. "I can manage alone." Elias regarded him calmly. "You have no strength to speak of. Are you unafraid of chance?" Puzzled, Adrian tried to summon the inner energy that was as natural as breath. It did not respond. He felt it, a vibrant river within him, but it was locked away, held behind gates in every pathway of his body. He could draw the energy in, but he could not send it out. His eyes widened in realization. Elias's lips curved slightly. "If you wish to walk in the world, then walk in it. For this journey, unless necessity demands it, I will maintain this seal. You will experience the mortal life truly. Consider it a form of training." Adrian wanted to protest, but the logic was sound. To travel such a distance relying on their power was not walking among people. It was passing over them. He nodded his assent, a plan for future retribution already forming in his mind. Seeing his acceptance, Elias seemed to relax. He reached out and took Adrian's hand, their fingers intertwining. The contact was firm, certain. Adrian looked at him, surprised. Under the moonlight filtering through the small window, Elias's disguised face was still handsome, his smile gentle. "I will seal my own power as well. We will be as ordinary men together." In the deep night, two shadows moved through the sleeping town. They were swift and silent, their trained bodies moving with a grace that seemed nearly supernatural to any sleepless soul who might glimpse them. They headed southeast. After several miles, Elias stopped them. "A ward lies ahead." Even suppressed, their senses were acute. What would normally be an insignificant barrier now required attention. Elias bent and scooped a few smooth stones from the roadside. "You have never focused on the art of wards or potions or crafting," he said, placing the stones in Adrian's palm. "I have always provided what you needed, but I will not always be at your side. What we face is a child's puzzle. Use these. Break the ward." Adrian accepted the challenge with a grin. Dressed in dark clothes for stealth, he moved carefully in the silver light, placing the stones at specific points on the ground. Elias watched, his gaze a deep, quiet ocean of pride and affection. The task was delicate, to create a temporary gap without triggering an alarm. The wards of the Sea Wolf Guild were crude things, hardly deserving of any formal name. Using only geometry and pressure, Adrian worked. After what felt like an hour, he pressed the final stone. A faint, almost musical click resonated in the stillness. He turned, a triumphant smile on his face. "It's done." Elias stepped through the now passive barrier. "Took a while. Let us continue." Adrian stared. "Continue what?" Elias walked another mile, stopped, and gathered more stones. He held them out. "Continue." The night became a series of patient, tedious exercises. Adrian dismantled 8 simple wards using nothing but river stones and his mind. After the last one, he straightened, brushing dirt from his hands, and fixed Elias with a look. "You are bullying your student." Elias appeared genuinely puzzled. Adrian gave a soft, meaningful hum. I will remember this. They moved on, and soon a low hill came into view, dotted with a handful of rough-built structures. There is not even a single fully initiated practitioner here, Adrian whispered. Elias's demeanor grew more serious. 3 of the highest novice rank, 1 of the middle, and 9 lesser novices. Their hidden strength rendered them invisible to such individuals, while they could perceive the others' meager power clearly. I have never heard of a group without a true master forming a recognized guild. How have they not been absorbed by others? Elias frowned but said nothing. They slipped onto the hill, passing through an ungated entrance without notice. The first shack they approached was poorly made, gaps in its wooden walls. They had not moved to peer inside when the sounds reached them. Ragged breathing, the creak of a cot, and voices thick with base pleasure. Yes, master, just like that. Oh, I can't. Quiet, you little witch. You'll take what I give you. Adrian froze. He had imagined many things, bandits, corrupt mercenaries, but not this vulgar, intimate scene. And from the words, it was mentor and pupil. His first instinct was to grab Elias and leave. Elias's first instinct was different. Suddenly, Adrian's world went dark and silent. He could see nothing, hear nothing. Elias had not merely covered his eyes. He had severed the connection entirely. Indignation flared. Why have you blocked my senses? Adrian's own shout was soundless to him. He grabbed blindly for Elias's sleeve. Elias, if you dare treat me like this again, I swear I will rebel. As suddenly as it left, sight and sound returned. Elias stood beside him, his gaze averted. The very tips of his ears flushed a bright red. Adrian glared. He tried to summon his weapon from its hidden space, but his sealed power offered no response. After a cold moment, he spoke. You just wanted to see it for yourself. You didn't want to share. Elias, guiltily remembering a certain manual hidden on a shelf in their cabin, remained silent. Taking his silence as admission, Adrian felt a mix of irritation and absurd fondness. This man, so changed since their connection had deepened, could still be infuriatingly possessive. Fine, he thought. You use your authority now. I will repay every bit of it later. But the method of the sensory block was peculiar. To be blinded and deafened, what would that be like in other, more private circumstances? A flush crept up Adrian's own neck. Elias, he said, his voice a mixture of accusation and embarrassment. I never took you for such a person. Elias had no reply. Without further ceremony, Adrian kicked the shack's door open. You, of the Sea Wolf Guild? The inside was a tableau of shock and scrambling limbs. The older man finished with a shudder, while the younger woman stared before hastily dragging a threadbare blanket over herself. As her eyes adjusted and saw Adrian's face, a calculated look entered them. She let the blanket slip slightly and sent a languid, inviting glance his way. Adrian, focused on the man, missed it. Elias, who had entered behind him, did not. A flicker of cold anger passed over his features. His hand moved almost imperceptibly, and a small pebble shot from the floor toward the bed. The man, Zhong Hong, reacted, throwing out a weak pulse of energy to deflect it. The stone was not deflected. It zipped past him and grazed the woman's cheek, drawing a thin line of blood. She cried out. Zhong Hong, now enraged, shoved himself upright. You, who are you to break into our guild and attack my disciple? The woman clung to his arm, her voice a wounded simper. Master, they hurt me. Zhong Heng's eyes, full of anger and a crude cunning, raked over Adrian and Elias. He was a big man, his cultivation the highest in this pitiful place. The woman with him was one of the lesser novices. You there, Zhong Heng barked at Elias. Why strike my pupil? Adrian, recovering from his own surprise at Elias's action, looked at the man with open distaste. She is your what? My business is my own. Zhong Heng snarled, pulling the woman tighter against him, his hand moving possessively under the blanket. What is your purpose here? Seeing their entwined forms, a fresh wave of disgust washed over Adrian, tinged with an odd protectiveness. He demanded, "A town 30 miles west. They pay you a fee every few years. Is this true?" Zhong Hang, still engaged in his crude groping, laughed a coarse laugh. "Is that all?" "Yes, for their protection. Fair trade."